a four-time winner of the U.S. Open and one of the legendary tennis players of our time. Mr. John McEnroe joins us on The Competitors. John, first of all, thank you so much for taking time. I know you're traveling all over the place to chat with us.
There's no truth to the rumor, or maybe there is, that I'm a legend in my own mind. It's nice to be called a legend or an ambassador for your respective sport, so that means I'm doing something right.
You're absolutely done. Yeah. Well, you know what? When people still remember you, when your greatest matches, your 80s, and you're 20, 29, 30 years later, and you're still one, fit, but two, people still look back at your match in 1980 against Björn Borg as one of the classic matches of all time. You stood the test of time.
I felt like at the time that was something special, like this was somewhat historic, but you don't expect it to be talked about as the greatest match ever. But last year when I saw Nadal play Federer and that incredible 5-set match, I thought this was now the greatest match that I've ever seen. I sort of wanted people to come out to me and go, no, your match is
you're still better. You're still better.
You know, it's really still better.
You're still the guy.
And you don't want to watch it because God forbid you remember it, especially the tiebreaker.
Sure.
When we played the 18-16 tiebreaker, and you think, okay, that was amazing. Yeah. You know, 33 of the 34 points were winners. Then you start watching, oh God, I double faulted there. I missed this easy volley to not win the set. So it's better to leave it. And then as time goes on, it becomes more amazing. So, but this match last year, just to be part of it, actually as a commentator,
right,
see it up close, and obviously know something about it. Been on the court so many times. It really did feel like it was the greatest match ever. So in a way, it's sort of nice to be around tennis still, be able to play at 50 and feel like I'm in good shape, and commentate on it, hopefully add something. I've done that, and you can give back a bit.
What's interesting is you played Pete Sampras last year, and at that point you're 49 years old, and afterwards Sampras talked about, man, that guy's fit. That guy is incredibly fit at 49 years old. Now you're 50.
Yes.
How have you changed your workout regime over the years?
Well, the funny thing is if I had that, been at the gym as much now, which is, I basically go 3 days a week, but I try to get there 3 days a week. But it's doing it regularly and building up over a period of time, years. And if I taken it more seriously back when I was at my peak, perhaps it would allow me to do more. But I mean, I prefer to look at the glass half full, number one, because I think I've been pretty lucky. Times are different then, and the money was not the same.
Sure.
Training methods were considered, and I mean, now they seem like what dinosaurs would use. It was considered in football, for example, people didn't lift weights.
No.
I mean, it's unheard of if a player doesn't lift weights now.
Absolutely.
They used to tell people to eat steak and eggs 2 hours before the game. I mean, that's obviously, you'd be a little loaded down probably if you did that now. So the approach of everything in general is completely different, whether it's the equipment, whether it's the off-court training. So now if you look at now at 50, I think it's like a good time for me to be part of like this campaign, the prostate health campaign. Because the truth is that over the course of the last 30 years, I'm 50 now, but I've been around the sport over 30 years, is that in general our society is becoming less fit, work out less.
Sedentary.
More sedentary. They've been encouraged to do things that get them to be less active. So I've taken a lot of pride in becoming more active. Maybe that makes me old-fashioned in a way, but I think I mean, obviously 50 they say is the new 40. 50 is the time you need to get checked. That's when people start saying, hey, that's the time you need to go to a doctor. I like the idea of promoting health. I like the idea of encouraging people, because I'm like other people. Oh, no, I don't need to go see the doctor. I'm okay. Sure. Hopefully that's the case, knock on wood, but you don't want to take that type of chance. Why not go there and have
absolutely, get a prostate exam
know what you're
and find
out. Get your PSAs checked. This is basic stuff that's going to help you in the long term. So it also got closer to my heart because my dad had prostate cancer 3-4 years ago. So it was something that I became more aware. Now he was older, and maybe he was one of those, and knock on wood again, lucky, he's doing well. But at the same time, I think that given where I am, I'm a father of 6, I'm still active, and I want to remain active. Right. And I think that's what the best thing is, that I can encourage people to do more of that.
Are any of your kids in the tennis?
It depends how loosely you describe into it.
I mean,
do they play? It depends how loosely you say play. My 2 boys played high school tennis. but then they didn't play college. One of my sons actually made the college team one year they played, and he quit because he said he didn't like the guys on the team.
Yeah.
Never have I seen one that had that fire in the belly that really wanted it, what it takes to even attempt to be a professional. But I mean, my kids are good kids, and I want them just to be, want something, whatever it is they find out they do want, that they have that fire in the belly, which is more difficult. I was lucky. I mean, I grew up in a relatively affluent area anyway, in Queens, but my father had to work very hard just to get one vacation each year and sent us to a private school. And I was able, because of my success, to live in a nice part in New York and have good things. Sure. And so the kids, they have to, you wonder where they're going to find that desire. And so hopefully they won't be forever afflicted with what I call affluenza. You
got too much money. You sit around the house,
they're just like, Dad, give me some money. And so this is hopefully, as they get older, they'll find that they want to be their own person, and I think that they're headed in the right direction.
And John, when you retired from tennis, was it tough to maintain a fitness regime because you didn't have that match coming up? You didn't have the tour happening?
Oh, it's a great point, and it's why it's difficult for a lot of people. I mean, I understand, especially people with regular jobs. They've got to get up. It's ungodly hours. Hours are longer. They're tired before or after. They got kids. They want to spend time with them. It's not easy. So I'm lucky in a way that I've been sort of be able to make my own schedule to a degree. But yes is the short answer. I was going through a divorce at the time, right at the end of my career, so that totally distracted me, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to push towards, that motivation, like a tournament coming up. I wasn't playing very much for a couple of years. And so I had to make a point of sort of becoming more aware of that. And also, as an athlete, I was lucky, God, knock on wood, I haven't had any surgeries. A lot of athletes aren't that fortunate in football, some of the other sports, where they're maimed physically, just unable to do anything. So I realized, hey, this is a second chance. It actually may help, like my commentary work, for example. Because getting out there makes you more aware of how difficult it is, and appreciate what you're seeing a little bit better. And then I would they start to have like a seniors tour. Jimmy Connors started a seniors tour. They started playing events in Europe, and I realized it was something that I thought I would never do, but that I actually feel like it's made me a better person and kept me young in a way. Right,
and then when you have to play on a clay surface, you have to be fit.
You have to be fit. It's tennis is unique in that you have to play in different, all different types of situations. Clay can be slippery. Grass can be slick. Hard courts are very tough to stop-start. You play indoors. There's sun. There's wind. I think that the mental part of having to keep a focus and concentration, as well as this premium now on fitness that you see more in all sports, but especially tennis too. That the combination of the players mentally and physically, I think the athletes are underrated as far as what they give out, because you see these guys that are all cut up and you're like, okay, what about tennis? They're not. You see Nadal is, and some of the other guys are getting there, but it's not looked at perhaps with the same respect, because we're not ramming into each other at full speed. Or the athletes in basketball are obviously amazing, and hockey's played at such a high speed, and But I think people respect it more now and realize that it takes quite a bit, especially when you're out there by yourself.
Sure. Who impresses you? Who's on the tour now?
Nadal. I mean, physically. I mean, I don't understand how that strength. He intimidates so many people. I try to intimidate people with my intensity.
Right.
It wasn't like they looked at me like, oh God,
he's going to kick my butt.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to do it in a different way. The top guys inevitably are the guys that impress you for different reasons. Federer looks like he's like Ali, float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee. Yeah. It's not like he'd knock you out with one shot, but he looked like Baryshnikov out there, that great ballet dancer. And Murray, who's the number 3-4 player in the world right now, is someone who throws you different looks. He's like the pitcher that Greg Maddux, a bigger guy though, but he would just place the ball just right, but give you off-speed stuff just to just totally confound you and not know what's coming next. And I really like that when you see someone using their head to really throw off an opponent.
It's a lot like you.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like a bigger version and does it differently, more from the baseline. But in essence, it's the same thing, to keep a guy off balance. I do quite enjoy that.